everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Navy Nurse. Today I'm going to be talking to you about some pros and some cons of being a nurse in the Navy. Also, I'd love to thank all of you for continuing to watch my channel and to give me good ideas and send me messages on my Instagram and on Facebook Messenger and through my email. I get a lot of good ideas and comments from you all, and keep giving me your ideas. I love doing videos on what you want to hear. And if for any reason I haven't done a video on what you asked me to do in a while, maybe just send me another message, because I get a lot of messages throughout the day and throughout the months. So I try to keep up with them, and I have a little calendar of when I want to do things, but sometimes I don't get to do it because, I am an active duty nurse as well, and I have all of those responsibilities as well. So if I have not done your video idea or I haven't talked about it, please just send me a message or another message in the case if I haven't responded to you. Okay, but I think I'm pretty good at responding to all of you. And we reached 1,000 subscribers a couple days ago, so that's awesome. I'm glad that the content I'm putting out to you all is helping you in some way. So all right, I'll get back into this video. So I'm going to start with the cons of being a Navy nurse. So the first one is you move around a lot. So this can actually be a pro too if you like to travel, but we'll start with it in the con section. So you move around every 2 to 3 years, meaning you have to pack up your house and your family and literally transplant yourselves in a new place. So meaning you have to learn your new job, your new place, how that people and how that group, or how that place and how that group of people work. Your kids have to go to a new school, and depending on where you get stationed, the schools cannot be that great or they can be amazing. So it can be a con to move around a lot. The next con is that the Navy can put you wherever the Navy wants you to be. So for example, if you're an ICU nurse, you could be placed in a labor and delivery unit. I have seen it happen. However, I will say, even though it can happen, it mostly doesn't, because once you're trained for something, then you're more qualified to be an ICU nurse if that's your thing, or if you're a labor and delivery nurse, you go there, med surge, and so on and so forth. But just know that if you're in the Navy, the mission comes first, not your desires or wants. So if you're an ICU nurse, for example, you could be placed in a labor and delivery unit. Another con, which can also be a pro depending on how you look at it, are deployments. So there is always a chance that you could be deployed because you're in the Navy, and that's kind of why people join the military, is to serve a greater cause than what you would do if you weren't in the military. So deployments are a real thing. Sometimes it can be to a cool place, or most of the time it's not to a cool place, and you're either in a war-torn area that's not safe, or you're providing humanitarian aid in a poor country, and the resources are not ideal. And then when you're on deployments, there's a lot of hurry up and wait kind of thing going on. A lot of times it can get really boring, and then a lot of times you feel like you're always working and you never get a break. And about at the 4-month mark, you're ready to go home. Usually deployments can be anywhere from, I don't know, a couple months to up to like 7 to 9 months. So it just depends what kind of deployment and what unit and where you're at. Another con are fitness reports or fit reps. So, as a naval officer, every year you have to do an evaluation on yourself. It measures what kind of officer you are, your primary job, what other things you have been doing as an officer, and fit reps are really important to you ranking up or moving on to the next rank. Part of the con with fit reps is that, you're never just a nurse. You have to always do more. You have to do collaterals that you don't necessarily want to do. And you want to make yourself stand out above the other nurses. For example, let's say you're just being a nurse on a med-surg unit. That's all you do. You go in, you do your 12-hour shift, you go home, and that's it. You're not going to stand out as much as another med-surg nurse who is teaching BLS classes, who took on a collateral as a safety rep for the unit, or if you're doing other things like helping with Joint Commission when they come around. So it's things like that. You have to do other time-consuming things and show that you're making a difference in some way other than just working your 12-hour shift and being a nurse. Another con is it's rank. So rank and your time in rank carries a lot of weight. Sometimes you won't get a position because of your rank. So a good example is, let's say you have a lieutenant who frankly would be a way better leader than a lieutenant commander. And this lieutenant is outgoing, they're fair, they know how to lead people. And this lieutenant commander is maybe lazy, doesn't know how to lead anyone, but because of rank, the lieutenant commander will be in the leadership position. So that's a con, because that person isn't necessarily the best person for the position, but they will get the position because of rank. Another con would be that you have to get permission for every damn thing. It's like you are in the government. The government does technically own you. You did technically, as we like to say, sign your life away to the military. So you do have to ask permission for a lot of things. And when I say permission, you have to get written permission. We call it like special request chits, special liberty, things like that. So one big example is for any vacation, any leave periods, you have to ask permission up your chain of command to go on leave. And it's kind of a process if you want to take leave internationally or anywhere outside of your radius of where you are normally stationed. So that can be a huge bummer, because when you're just a civilian nurse, you don't have to ask permission. You're like, okay, I got the days of leave, boom, I'm gonna go wherever I want. You can't do that when you're in the military. The last con I'll talk about are all of the politics. There's a lot of politics that you have to experience, and you got to know how to play the game. So, for example, when you're a nurse, you're an officer, you have to know how to act within the officer realm. There's functions that you'll have to attend, social events, lunches such as the Navy Nurse Corps birthday, there's balls like the Navy ball, there's hospital corpsman balls, and you have to be very professional and learn how to speak well in front of your superiors. So know how to play the game well, but also know how to do that but not be a brown noser. It's a really fine line you have to walk. All right, let's go on to the pros. So I think travel is a pro. So even though you have to move around a lot and you have to uproot your family and all of that, it can still be very exciting. You get to move to a place every 2 to 3 years, a new place every 2 to 3 years, and you can travel to other places within where you're at. So, for example, if you're stationed in Italy, you're already in Europe. So, if you want to travel around to Germany and Croatia and all the other European places around you, you can at a far more cheaper price than if you were back in the States. You also can get cheaper flights or fly with military aircraft for free. So that's an awesome perk, in my opinion. Another pro of being a Navy nurse is all the training that you get, and it's literally free. The military will pay for it. So you get lots of cool training opportunities, such as learning en route care. You can go to a combat casualty course. You can learn how to be a sexual assault responder. There's lots of leadership courses. You can learn how to be a PIC nurse if that's offered at your facility. There are so many training opportunities. Of course, you do have to ask permission and you have to put in a package for most of these trainings, but they're free, and it's awesome. That it's awesome training that I don't think you would necessarily have access to if you were a civilian nurse. Another pro are all the opportunities that are available to you to be a nurse in different and kind of non-traditional settings. So, of course, there's your normal settings like hospitals, clinics, but there's also opportunities to be a nurse with a Marine unit on a ship. There's also positions for White House nurse that are very competitive, by the way. And it just allows you to fill different types of roles while you're in the Navy. Another pro is there's a lot of opportunities for upward mobility. So it's really hard just to stay stagnant. So talking about pay, right? Pay and rank. So from O1 to O2 to O3, you'll pretty much rank up as long as you don't kill anyone, you don't get a DUI or anything crazy like that, then you're pretty much just going to rank up to O3. And then there's always that upward mobility where you can go to lieutenant commander, which is O4, up to commander, up to captain. Those are harder to get, but it's there. There's opportunity, and you can do it if you work for it. Other things that are pros are you get extra pay for housing, wherever. Some places that you're stationed at, you can get hazardous pay. If you're away from your family, you'll get family separation pay, and there are bonuses available for some specialties. Another pro is educational opportunities. So if you already have your bachelor's, well, you will already have your bachelor's, because in order to be a nurse in the Navy, you have to have your bachelor's. But let's say you want your master's or your doctorate. While you're serving in the military, there's tuition assistance, which will help you if you're doing your master's online or on your own. Tuition assistance will help you pay for those credits, so you don't take on the full burden of a master's degree or a doctorate. Also, there's DUINS, or duty under instruction, which is the best thing that you could get while you're a Navy nurse as far as educational opportunities. It is highly competitive, but it is a program that, if accepted, the military will pay your entire postgraduate degree and you're getting paid your regular officer pay on top of that. Books, all of that is paid for. So the best thing if you can get that. Also, you get reimbursement for certifications. So if you are critical care or an emergency nurse, for example, and you get your CCRN or your CEN certification, the first time you take the test, you can get reimbursed for that examination fee. Also, all your classes that you need in order to work, for example, BLS, ACLS, PALS, TNCC, all those classes are free. The military pays for all of that. Another pro, leadership opportunities. So I don't know about you, but a big reason I joined the military is to make a difference and to change people's lives and make an impact. So you have that opportunity to be a leader because you're not only a nurse, but you're also a naval officer. And by virtue of that, you are going to be placed in leadership roles, and the enlisted personnel will look up to you. So you can be a division officer, you can be a training officer, a department head, and you really have a chance to make an impact. And then the last pro I'll talk about are medical and dental benefits. So when you're active duty, you get free medical and dental through TRICARE. Your family gets free medical also if you're active duty. And then for dental, you just have to pay like a small, I can't remember if it's monthly. I think it's a monthly fee, not annual. That's minuscule compared to medical and dental fees on the outside or not in the military. And if you retire, you can retire at the earliest 20 years of active duty service. And if you retire, you will also get medical and dental benefits for life for you and your family at a low cost. So those are some pros and some cons of being a nurse in the Navy. I hope that gives you some insight and helps you to make your decision on if you want to be a nurse in the Navy. So thank you for listening. Again, thank you so much for watching my videos, and hit me up if you have any questions or if you just want to say hi. And I'll see you all later in the next video.